Okay, and okay. Are we live now? Hey guys, we're live. We got a great show. We're gonna play the intro and get started. We got Chris. Okay, great.
There we go. Now I hear you, Rob.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I'm really excited about my show today. I have two return guests. I consider them really good friends. I have Anne-Marie Morales and Christy Campbell.
Hi,
the main guest tonight is Anne-Marie, yeah, and Christy will be giving her testimony about Anne-Marie's Starseed special or the hypnosis. And Anne-Marie is going to focus on her Starseed special, but we're also going to talk about the Full Disclosure Now conference that we're all going to be at. So I just verified I'll be there today. And a little bit more about my guest. Anne-Marie is a hypnotherapist, and Christy is a MILAB survivor and a seer. And they're both seers. They're both highly attuned psychics. And Christy does Karuna Reiki. And I'm just really excited to have them back on the show. And Anne-Marie, Christy, thank you so much for coming back on. How are you guys?
Doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah. So I guess we're all going to be at the conference. Are you guys excited for it?
I am. Yes. I'm excited to meet everybody and be on stage to present all my information and all my experiences that I've gone through. I made even a book of all the stuff too, so I can kind of keep on track of the MILAB, Montauk, Super Soldier, Secret Space stuff, all kinds of everything.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. And Anne-Marie, are you excited as well to be going to the conference?
Oh, for sure, because we're going to be seeing family again, and that's always wonderful. And this year, I'm going to have my own space there, table there, and I'll be offering all of my offerings, even my full service hypnotherapy, Starseed special, past life regression. We can all schedule it for that week while we're there. So
wow, that's so cool.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Are you guys both doing readings too? Are you guys both going to be doing like readings at the conference as well?
I'm not gonna. Probably won't have time, or it's my first conference, so I really don't know what to expect. So I'm just kind of going with the flow of things, and I didn't want to do too much, and feel overbooked with everything. So I'm just kind of going with the flow of things.
I will be. I will be doing everything. I'll be doing my full energy healing process. I can do also abbreviated half-hour sessions right there at the table. So, like I said, I'm going to be offering everything, and it'll be at a discounted rate. So
that's awesome. That's really cool.
Make sure you show up.
Yeah.
And I put a discount code in the description, guys. If you're going to the conference and you still need your tickets, it's fulldisclosuremovement.org. And and you can get 17% off your ticket. I believe the code's in the description. So Anne-Marie, did you want to get into like what we're going to be talking about today, and then maybe Christy can follow up? And this is awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rob, for having me here. So you know me for all the psychic work and the energy work that I do, but what I don't often share with people is that when I was listening to a super soldier testimony, I had a really significant spiritual experience that connected me with my star aspects. I found out that I have more than one aspect that are living on a planet in the Pleiades and are in, the solar warden. And they are aspects to me. And because of my training in hypnotherapy and the work that I learned in my hypnotherapy training. So for those of you who don't know, this past year, I went through 9 months of training, not just a weekend course, not just pay $2,000 and you've got a certificate to do regressions. I went to school for 9 months with the Institute of Interpersonal Hypnotherapy. And through the course of learning hypnotherapy, I was able to clarify my mind so much to where my Pleiadian aspects were able to telepathically communicate with me. Now, I had channeled them before, but never telepathically. And it was only after I had this profound healing regression experience that my Pleiadian aspects began telepathically talking to me, which was like something, it wasn't entirely new because I had telepathically communicated with Sasquatch in the past. And I believe other extraterrestrials. I felt like it just kind of like came in out of the left side of my head. But this was like I was speaking faster than I could think. And it was like nothing. It was like nothing. It was nothing. It just came out of me. My point being is they told me last fall, Anne-Marie, we want you to do for others like you did for yourself. Help them raise their frequency so that they can communicate with their star aspects. Now, aspects are not family per se. They're parts of your own soul. Like my aspects are other beings, but they are me as well. I don't know if that makes any sense, and I don't know if I could say it in any other way.
It's almost like how people have alters. Like people have alters that like that are different personalities, but like it's different aspects of you.
Yeah, I mean, an alter would be a different aspect of my mind, of my conscious mind, which I deal with and I work with also. I guess you could call it an alter of the soul, which is different than the mind.
Yeah.
But it's not something that was created through trauma. It was something that was created through divine plan, right? And by your soul plan. And these are what starseeds are. We are incarnate beings from other realms. And we can be more than one.
Right.
Because I know for a fact that I know I am Pleiadian and I know I am Blue Avian. So like I am more than just one race, right? You identify with that. So my guides or my aspects, they said, we want you to do this. And I was like, okay. So I started marketing this thing called a Starseed Special. However, I had my clients lined up and I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was in church with my mother, and there was one particular woman that I know from my spiritual community, and she couldn't afford it. She just couldn't afford it. And I thought to myself, you know what? She still needs to have it done. So I was in church and I texted her and I said, okay, let's schedule it. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she lives in Europe. So she was hours away, you know, in difference in time. Right then and there at church, I got the download of what we need to do. It was right there in church, and I typed it in on my phone. And it was that I was to take my clients to a place called the Hall of Universes. Fascinating. Okay. Fascinating. It all came down. So I'm to take my clients to the Hall of Universes where they will enter, and there will be doors that will reveal all your aspects. And I have had clients go to the mer people in the bottom of the ocean. I've had them go to an Anunnaki ship. I've had them go to the Pleiades, but not the long blonde-haired Pleiadians, but the blue-skinned, bald Pleiadians. So the Pleiades is like, there's how many constellations? I mean, how many stars?
7 stars.
We can't just group them all at once. So I've had and even I've had someone go to a Zeta Reticulan, and we disconnected them from the Zeta Reticulan as well. So this is fascinating. I've had so many amazing sessions. You can hear some of them on YouTube and on my TikTok. accounts. And also this beautiful woman here, Christy, my dear one, got to experience one firsthand. And I will turn it over to you, Christy. And Rob, do you have any other questions before we move on?
No, this is fascinating. I love it. I love the yeah, this is great.
Well, Anne Marie asked if I would be willing to do the hypnosis session, and I reached out to you first because you made an announcement to list for the first 3 people who contact me. And so I did that, and she said, "Sure, I would love to." So we did the hypnosis session online, and I didn't think that I could be hypnotized like many people think that way too. They think I don't think I can be hypnotized, but it's a process of relaxing, and Marie takes you on several ways. It's like she does it this way, then this way, then this way, to make sure you're fully like synced into the bed and you're just like relaxed fully. So
Christy,
and
can I just interrupt 1 second? And this is really important to preface. See, your higher self is always in control. Okay. This is not like I'm not in control. You're not. It's really a divine connection that we establish. And in my sessions, we kind of like tick all the marks. We call in all of our higher guides. We surround ourselves with love and light. We bring in, I mean, there's layer upon layer of permission and protection. So it's a very divinely thing. And so my reason for interrupting you, and I apologize, is that I preface to all my clients, we may have the intention of meeting your star aspects, but if you need something else first, then that's going to happen first.
Right.
So that's what I wanted to interject there. Go ahead, hon.
Right. So that was our intention, is to meet some of my star aspects. But I have an open mind with it too. So I wasn't just focused on that. I was listening to Anne Marie and letting her kind of guide the way, So anytime I would think, something else, in the 3D, like about the telephone or food or whatever, something like that, then I just went back to listening to her voice, like follow her voice, so I did that a lot. And then I just stayed with her. So that's what I was kind of doing at first, because my mind kept on kind of jumping out of it, how it does. And so then I just started relaxing into it as she allowed me to feel safe and protected during the whole session. So that let me relax and open up and feel vulnerable to the experience. And so what we found was, of course, we didn't find the starseed aspects. We found the trauma that was needing to be released from me, and that was, George Bush Sr. And I saw him there. Of course, he's in so many of my experiences, but this time he appeared, and I was 10 years old in my room, and then he just appeared, like leaning down, looking in, and so he had said his name was Satan. That's what we asked him what his name was, and he said Satan. And then Anne Marie just interjected. It's like she came into the experience with me, because I was a 10-year-old looking up to him, and I'm always afraid of him, of how manipulative he is to me, all this time, all these experiences that I've had with him. He's always the same, really belittling and manipulative. So she came in as like a guardian angel over here, and she was like a golden angel with a staff. And then she just really took control of the experience, so I could feel safe. And then I just went behind her. I asked, can I just come behind you, because I was scared still of him, and because he still had the control. So anyways, then we went through, and she had what did you do, Anne Marie? You called. Well, you was asking, we was kind of challenging him, and he was kind of going berserk a little bit like that. And then you was telling me, what do we do? Because I kind of am having that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So when
Yeah.
that happens, and whenever I encounter some sort of attached energy, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
I am there as Christy's advocate or my client's advocate, guide, and I'm also there to assist this entity.
Mm.
So I made it clear that I was not there as an adversary, because we're not here to do battle. We're here to release Christy, because that's got to happen. And we're here to move whatever entity that is onwards. Now,
Mhm.
this is where I
Yes.
call in my team. So I always call in Archangel Michael. I call in Jesus Yeshua, and they're there. And also dragons. I call in the dragon energy. Anyway, it's we're making him tell us. First of all, I want to know how long he's been with you.
Oh, yes.
Why
Mhm.
don't you talk about where you ended up going in this in this session?
Okay.
Because that's
Yeah, so
fascinating.
you asked how long has he been with me?
Mhm.
And then I just seen myself diving into a big like a well, and it was like forever just going down in this blackness, like black goo. Just I was just going down forever and ever. It wasn't stopping. That's how long my connection with him has been. And so then she pulled me back out of there, and cuz she was just needing kind of a visual of how long. um and then so I was standing back over here, and she called in Hayel.
Halel.
Mhm. Halel.
Halel.
Yes.
So
Yeah, talk about that.
in my life, the first word that I ever channeled was the name of Archangel Halel.
Mm.
Now, Halel is the counterpart to Mikael. This is not very well known, but there is lore around Archangel Halel. And he is the dark to Michael's light. Now, I have a huge story around this, which I won't share right now, but about not even a week before we did our session, I was walking my dogs, or my dog, which, and I always try to connect with my guides when I go on my walks, because I leave the phone at home, and I just like to channel and connect when I walk my dogs. And Archangel Halel came in, and I hadn't heard from him
Mhm.
in like 6 years. It's been a long time. Well, it turns out while we were doing this, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out, okay, let's get this guy gone. All of a sudden, I get the download, and it's very
Mhm.
obvious on the video recording. I'm like, hold on
Yeah.
a minute. Archangel Halel just popped into my head. Halel came into my head. And
Yeah.
that was so out of left field.
Mhm.
But Christy, you
Yeah.
saw him come in right away.
Yeah, because I was battling. I had stood on my own then,
Oh,
and
yes,
I
that's
was
right.
because you had hit the staff on the ground, and then that shattered the black goo. That was like a coating of shell that was
Right.
all in me. And so
Mhm.
she hit the staff, and it cracked all this black goo, and it just started all coming out of me. Like I was just, you was like,
Right.
pull it out. So I was like pulling it out of my heart and everything, and I was like
Vomiting.
vomiting and
Mhm.
black goo, and I just like fell to the ground and just vomiting black goo. Then when I stood up, and then I was so angry. I was like feeling the
Right.
anger from George Bush Sr. From all the trauma he had done, and I was kind of seeing that, like that black goo was released in the memories, letting me see. And so I was like I shape shifted into a dragon and tried to burn him, and then he like blew up and then just reformed. And then I was like stabbed him, and then like sliced him up, and then he just reformed
Mhm.
again. And I was just getting more angry. And then I just screamed, like psionic scream, and then everybody just like all the windows blew out, and everybody just kind of shattered, and then he just reformed. And then I was
Mhm.
like, because it was like, what are you gonna? She said, what are you gonna do? What are we gonna do with him? Does he want to go with Archangel Michael or what. So then she heard, hey, hey out, hey
Hey,
loud.
Lel. So
And he
what's
came
really
through.
important, what's really super important for victims, and I'm going to put those in air quotes, is that you really release all of your authentic emotions. You have to, and you have to do it while you're in this state. So I was just like, let it out, Christy. Whatever
Yeah.
rage you're feeling, feel it. Let it out, let it out, let it out. So what we had to do was then, after all that rage was out, obviously it didn't do anything to him. It actually fed him.
Right.
So once we had to, well, then Halal came to me, and then he came to you. And we called him in, and he showed up, and you saw him, and then you can describe what he did.
Well, he
Because
touched
this was
George Bush
incredible.
Sr. on the head with his sword, and then George Bush Sr. was absorbed into his sword like a vacuum. And so, because he didn't want to go to the light, of course, you know, he just wanted to
Right.
go back into the black goo, into that hole. So he was absorbed into the sword, and then he came over with his sword and was like just kind of vacuuming up all the black goo off of me and off the ground and off the back of me. And so we was just standing there kind of waiting on the next thing to do, as he was just kind of cleaning up everything. And I called in all my guides, all my ET guides, and angels, guardian angels, all my ancestors, and you know, so they was all behind me, kind of patting me on the back and, you know, just supporting me and stuff. And so then we was just waiting. And so the next step, then I just seen at the end, it was like in a school hallway, you know, and at the end was like all black still. It wasn't released because it was like swirling like a tornado down there still. You couldn't see out. And so then they started all coming up, all these disincarnate figures or heads and stuff just kind of awakened, you know, as George Bush Sr. was released because he bound them. So he was released, and now all of these entities was being freed, you know, like wanting to come to the light. They was wanting to be transformed. So I saw James Casbolt, his head just came like on this side. It was like just his head, and then he appeared, and then I seen that he has been, you know, past lives and other, you know, other incarnations and stuff with me, and always training me like super soldier training, like mostly it was like sword training and stuff like that, because I seen like in a like a King Arthur, you know, that timeline. It was like a kingdom or something like that. Like he was training me with swords, and then combat fighting too. I seen that he's been in other experiences with me too. So I was just kind of seeing all those play out, you know. And he wanted to be transmuted to the light. He just went right away, you know. He was like, boom, and out.
So oftentimes, and I've had this experience before, when I release, let's say, an overlord kind of demonic energy, you have to understand that the lower fourth astral, the demons or those kind of energies will trap human souls, and they will feed off of the trauma of the human souls that they trap. So I've had other occasions where I've released like a dark energy, and then the human souls are like, oh, we're free, and they come up out. So what we did is we opened a portal, and all those human souls that were tapped down by that energy got to move on into the light. And that's something that's super important for ascension. We have to really be able to clear the lower fourth astral to assist us in that way. And I also wanted to make a point, Christy, once you were released of all of that black goo, your energy changed. You became light. And you became love. And I've noticed it on all of your posts. You are posting. You're so creative. It was such an amazing healing for you. And I'm just, you know, so happy
like
for you.
It's been more like I can express myself more freely and not feel so judged, you know, like that kind of a way, because I would always feel that. So I think it was some suppression that was just, you know, pressing down like that. So it just feels like I can express myself more freely. definitely so. And I don't wake up, kind of, I've been, before waking up, feeling tired and stuff. So it's just depression that's been released. A lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the hallway, though, because we
That,
cleared all that out, and then
Right.
it opened up the light at the end of the hallway so we could see outside, and it was like a sunny day. And then we just went on outside, and then the session was completed, so.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there were other things
wow,
that we
that's
did. A lot, some other private things that we did that I didn't include in the public video because it is a full, complete therapeutic session. It's not
Mhm.
just, it's not just, hey, let's go in there and look. And, this is therapy. It's therapeutic. And
Yeah.
it's very, very healing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
it sounds like it's incredibly transformative, for people. It
Mhm.
sounds amazing. Like
Yeah.
it's you know,
Yeah.
it's
I like how
it's
Anne Marie stayed with me the whole time too. And I just want to just say how she made me feel so protected, and like she would fight for me as I was like this 10-year-old standing kind of behind her scared. And she had the energy to be like, no, you will not mess with her anymore, and you could feel that within
Mhm.
her. And I just felt safe, and I could
Mhm.
just be like, okay, she's gonna do that while I go over here and release all of this black goo, and like she has my back. So I never,
Mhm.
I have to feel that, and I had to feel that, protected. So yeah, that was important. Hmm.
that's amazing. So it's basically like a rendition of a hypnosis, Anne Marie. Basically, it's like taking someone into hypnosis, but you've like kind of like changed it and like built your own format, kind of.
It's
Is that
my
what?
own modality. It's my own modality that was given to me by my star aspects. And it's like, Dolores Cannon developed QHHT. Well, I developed the Starseed Special. In this case, however, which is different than QHHT, but I mean, I've never had a QHHT session. I have no knowledge of what they do, so I shouldn't really compare.
Hmm.
But my training in terms of entity attachment removal, I've been working with exorcists for at least 10 years. Up in New York, when I used to be in New York, one of my dearest friends was an exorcist that the NYPD used to use. So, I mean, in terms of me dealing with darkness, I've been doing that longer than I've been doing Reiki and on my spiritual
Hmm.
path. So I've been
Hmm.
doing I mean, I've had a and also they've been messing with me for God, since I was in high school. So I mean, since I
Hmm.
was 14. So I
Yeah.
have my journey with the darkness,
Hmm.
and I am not, I mean,
Hmm. Hmm. And
it's not a
I
problem.
think that I felt how you've been a school teacher too for
Mhm,
little kids, and
mhm.
I was a little kid there. So that kind of, I think that kind of, I related that to that a lot. I could feel
You felt that
that
energy.
energy. Hmm. Yeah, that you're
Yeah.
protective of the little kids.
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
really felt that a lot. Yeah.
If someone has a different issue, Anne Marie, could this be adapted to it? Like, say if someone needed like a full entity removal or something like that, could you like kind of adapt the way you do it for that or something, or like
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Well, this was an entity removal.
Hmm.
This, this absolutely was. And I've done quite a few of them in my hypnotherapy practice as well. Because listen, we all have hidden energies, whether they be, disincarnate souls that, let's say, this person died of a drug overdose and you take drugs and your aura is open, and so they come in and attach to your body so that they can experience the same thing. Former human soul attachments, as well as non-human. I do it as well.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
As well as extraterrestrial. I mean, I also talked to you about the Zeta Gray that I had the other day, and I spoke to my client. Do you wish for this to continue? And he's like, no, I do not. I was like, okay, you must leave him now. And they were like, okay, and they disconnected because we have free will in this universe, and they have to comply. So, yeah, this is.
So we'll do another session together and look
Yep.
for the aspects,
I was going to ask you, Henry, do you see any other common patterns that, like, from other star seeds that have endured like similar stuff from doing these sessions?
Well, from doing, it depends where you are on your spiritual journey. And it depends where it's all dependent on you, your frequency, and where you are in your spiritual journey. I've had clients that go straight to the Hall of Universes and they meet with like 5 different aspects of themselves, no problem whatsoever. I've had other ones that go to the Hall of Universes, but they needed to see past incarnations because that's what they needed at this moment. So we went into the Akashic records and then we saw 2 different lifetimes that they needed to see in order to understand where they are now. Okay. So in terms of, I know a lot about SSP and the traumas involved in SSP, MILAB, all of that. I'm very familiar with it. It's something that I have been following for at least 5 years. I mean, not to mention all the relationships that I've had in this community. And so I'm very, very familiar with this world, let us say. So whatever comes up, I have the skill to navigate. And I'm just so excited. I can't even tell you how happy I am to be in this position. And it goes to show how everything that we go through, good, bad, or ugly, is preparing us for our next up level. And I felt last year was like a dumpster fire year for me. It was such a horrible year. But I mean, now I'm a totally different human being. And I'm just so excited about this.
Yeah. It's more free. It feels more free this year than it did last year.
Yeah,
like everything
for sure.
kind of feels more freedom wise.
There's a commenter in the chat. NYP did not use me as an exorcist. They used my friend as an exorcist. And I used to pray for him when he would go and work with a full-blown possession. So what Christy had was attached energy, was not full-blown possession.
Right.
Have I experienced where they would like cackle at me through people? I'm trying to recall. I think at least once I've had that. But those are very, very rare. So like what you're seeing, like the full-blown entity possessions that usually go to the Catholic Church, that's very, very rare. What's much, much more common, and I know it because I've had them myself, is just the attachments. The entity attachments, the thought forms, and we can create our own entity attachments. We are that powerful, we are creator beings. So it's fascinating, just fascinating work. And I'm just so excited.
Yeah. I hope a lot more people go and get a session with you, to help with all the, if it's other aspects or if it's entities or however it is, just like how I did, not knowing what the thought of just going in and finding another aspect, but then this comes up, to be released right now, and then we can move through more things later. So it's like a process, like you could go on forever with this hypnosis sessions and stuff too, and find a whole bunch of information about yourself and all these records and opened up, because there was like a hallway and you're asking to which door, how many doors and all that, pick a door. And so I just picked this first door, but there was a whole bunch more doors. It was like 8 doors, so
and what I was trying to say earlier about I had it and it left my head. What I wanted to say earlier, it came to me and it went away. It'll come back to me again. Never mind. There was a point I wanted to make and I can't remember what it is, but it'll come back to me, I'm sure.
What about Exorcist or so?
I
don't know.
No. It'll come back. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you think you could even do stuff like timeline travel and remote viewing? Could that play into this at all, Anna Marie?
In the human mind, so let's talk a little bit about the human mind, because I think it's really important. We have 3 parts to our consciousness. Okay, we have the physical, we have the ego mind, we have the conscious mind. That's the mind that we're communicating with right now. Okay. That's where we're awake, we're talking, and we absorb about, I don't know, maybe 30 bits of information per second, okay? The subconscious mind is attached to our egoic personality, and it is a supercomputer. And this is what MK Ultra has hacked and has weaponized, is our subconscious mind, which influences this body. Okay, so MK Ultra has hacked that supercomputer and has weaponized it, but we ourselves create alters in many different ways, and we don't even know they're there. So we have parts of our own mind that are buried away but are influencing us every single day, and we don't even know about it. Now, there's another part of our mind called the superconscious mind. And that superconscious mind is where we are all unified. That's the quantum realm. And that's the realm where we went to do this work. Okay. So it's not detached from us, because we're all connected. We are a whole mind. So that includes the subconscious, the conscious, and the superconscious. But this particular session, we went into the quantum realm. Okay, now to answer your question, Rob, can we do remote viewing? What we do in this case, and I will not say that we do remote viewing, but what I will say is, if there is anything that you have experienced, whether it be in the quantum realm or in the subconscious mind, in your own human memory that might be blocked, with hypnosis and hypnotherapy, these blocks can be unblocked, and you can go to the most detailed memory. Like, Christy, describe your clothing, for example. Weren't you
clothing?
Was it you that I was working with? It could have been another client. But you were
Well,
telling me
like I had on like a white, like a little I didn't really, it was like a t-shirt or something.
Oh, I apologize.
Like
It was another client.
The black
My
glue all over me.
apologies.
Yeah,
Okay. It was another
Yeah.
client that I just had recently. She's like, Anne Marie, I saw my shoes when I was 12. I saw the pants I was wearing.
Oh, cool.
She went to, and she's super psychic as well, which is another thing. Like, you do not have to be psychic to do this work, to be to have hypnotherapy. When I have psychic clients, it's like a whole other layer of stuff to deal with, but it's very fascinating. Yeah.
I just remembered one of the parts of it, because before I saw George Bush Senior, then I was seeing in my room like a stream of like the information of like the experiences that I've had in this life so far, at the age of 10. And it was just like people passing by, experiences that are relevant, like Christmas with the family and things like that were important back then. And then it just all of a sudden just got black, like it just stopped. And I was like, and then Marie was like, what's going on? And I was like, it's like all black, like nothing. And it was like something was ripped. It was like the timeline. This was a timeline, and then it's like ripped, and then George Bush Senior timeline inserted here, and then this one is just still down here, but you can't see it or something like that. Like I couldn't see it. I just seen the black, like it was like a almost like redacted or something like that. That's what I was thinking of, you know. And
Mhm.
so it's not meant to be seen or discovered. But because he looked down at me like, you got to be kidding, you know, like, you know, can't believe that you're like discovering this. So I don't think he meant for this to be discovered and of course been ejected from my experience anymore.
Mhm.
You know, he wasn't, because I haven't felt him. I can still see him and stuff like that, but it's just a memory of that, and there's no feeling at all anymore. But after we completed everything, and then it was like music. It was like music notes or something like a wave, you know, and it continued on, like it continue on and on. So that's what happened after that. It just
Mhm.
continues on. Yeah. So that was something really, you know, to worth mentioning there too. That the timeline, I guess it was already because it must have been here. So it just kind of played back how, or just push
I
play
kind
again. Maybe it was on pause or something, and then just push play again. So then I don't know, something like that.
Well, back in the old days when we used to have the actual film, you could splice it
Mm-hmm.
and insert something in there. And so what I
Yeah.
believe happened is that that alternate timeline was now removed and your original timeline was put back together.
Yes.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you've become whole again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, the whole thing can play out again. So the whole
Hmm.
records is there, you know, to see. So that was completed on there. So
Hmm.
yeah.
That's fascinating, though. That
Mhm.
really is. You know, the
Yeah.
layers of our existence and like what goes on in other. You know, it's almost like you because we're all quantum entangled, right, Anna Marie? Like,
Correct.
and
Mhm.
that it's like that's why this cannot you can happen. Like you're able to tap into someone like that, and like yeah, it's just really interesting. I find this I think it's fascinating. I really do.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah. Let me see if I had any other questions, or if anybody in the audience has a question, put your question in the chat, and we'll get to it. And yeah. Well, I was gonna say, is there anything else you wanted to cover with this, Anna Marie, that we might have like kind of forgot about, or I might not have. Thought, yeah.
Well, we're all here to remember our truth and to get to a point where we could live our best and highest selves. We're all star seeds. We're all here
Mhm.
to assist the planet. And there is such a thing as interference. There is such a thing as energies that don't want this, don't want us to ascend. And so what we have to do is work on ourselves, because that's where we work in the quantum, how we are entangled with each other. Heal your wounds, heal your core traumas. And hypnotherapy is a beautiful modality to do that. And I'm just so excited to be in this profession. I have my own office. I have an office in Tarpon Springs, Florida. You can come in and see me in person, but I do work on Zoom as well, because not everybody can spend $1,000 and a week off of work to come and do these things in person. But yeah, I mean, it's what I'd
Yeah,
like to say. Heal yourself and you heal the world.
I love that. And we have one question from the audience. I'll put it up. This is from Michelle. She says, Rob, I had a question. Is her therapy like ART, the rapid eye movement therapy?
I do use eye movement therapy in my hypnotherapy practice. It is not rapid eye movement therapy. It is a modality of goodness, what is it called? It's a modality, but I do use eye movement therapy. That's what I can say.
Mm.
And it's not,
That's awesome.
yeah. There's a lot of eye therapies that are out there. So eyes are connected to the subconscious. Okay, there's a reason why you're supposed to roll your eyes up. It connects you with different parts of your mind, with your emotions. And when the eyes are moving, your access to the subconscious mind is more easily available. So it's a very important therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle had another question. She says, "Do you accept insurance?" I was thinking, would insurance pay for that, or do they consider that like a, you know?
No, we don't, because if we do that, because I am certified, I am not a licensed psychologist, and I am not a licensed psychotherapist. I am a hypnotherapist. Now, having said that, I am also an ordained minister and a spiritual teacher. I do have people that come to me and like to talk. I'm never going to tell them not to talk. I will make it, I am not a medical professional. I am not a diagnostician. That is out of my scope of practice. However, in the realm of spiritual counseling, I can safely say you are welcome.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And then Ghetto Out has a question. She says, "Rob, can Christy go over her new books for us? Do you have new books out?"
Yeah. I have my book here with me. I wrote a book, and I'm writing several other books too. I'm in the process of doing my light language into a book as well. But this one I wanted to write for little kids, about setting boundaries, how to set boundaries with the affirmations to feel empowered. Because I felt that it was really important as a little kid too, growing up, and I'm very empathic, and I would get my feelings hurt so easily, because I'm double cancer sun and moon, and that plays a part in it. I know, to being water sign and everything, just being able to feel all the emotions of everything, so I would feel anytime I was in trouble, I just got my feelings hurt. So anyways, I wanted to make a book for the kids, and there's a notebook too that I made just with the cover with Luna, and so you can take notes and all that. But this is going to be like for affirmations for her, so, and it can be a boy or girl. I just did her because I was, just thinking that this was me. So just kind of doing that with with what I'm feeling. I'm feeling more open and free to do stuff. So I made this book, and then I'm doing my light language, and I have some on the ant people and all other ET races, and autism, and I made like a book, like a book like how this is, how you would buy on Amazon, but it has a cover like for autism, and then I made one for it says psionic super soldier, that just came out today, and then the notebook for Luna just came out today, so you can take notes with the notebook, write down affirmations or however. And then I have one with a wolf, one with an owl, so I make those all the time too. But I made this one to take. This has all my experiences too, talking about like George Bush Senior, being in the psychiatric ward, the abandoned psych ward, So I want to bring this with me to the conference to kind of show everybody, because it's so many experiences, of everything. I put it all together last night, just wanted to talk about Montauk and MILAB experiences and all of that, and I don't get triggered or anything like that, so I've healed these aspects. So I'm just wanting to bring them to light, like these aspects that have been at Montauk, with Joseph Powell, and he was one of the handlers there, Joseph Powell, and I remember quite a few people there. Arkeem and Max Spears was there, Steve Shear, so, and James Rink. So I remember quite a few people from there. So yeah, I'll be there at the conference next week and sharing my experiences on the stage. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. And well, this was amazing. Well, do you guys want to tell people how they can get a hold of you and book and stuff like that? And maybe if you want to go first, Christy, and then we'll let Anna Marie finish up.
And they can get a hold of me through my email. It's christy.campbell.11@gmail.com. I also do the card readings too. I haven't been doing them in a while, just because I've been preparing all the stuff for the conference. Like I do the readings for people too, and they have all the ETs and all the many things that I can think of. With all the programs and everything too. And I made all of these myself. So I can do those for people, and those are $44 for an hour session. And I'll pick that back up after the conference. And then what else? YouTube, it's Christy Campbell CC33 on my YouTube channel. And I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. So you can kind of find me wherever on social media.
That's awesome. Yeah. And Anna
Yeah.
Marie, and thank you. This was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you,
You're
Rob.
welcome. And thank you so much for giving me an outlet to share my story and for Christy to share her experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you can find me on Facebook, and my business name is Anne Marie Morales Hypnotherapy and Intuitive Arts. And my website is AMM for Anne Marie Morales Hypnotherapy.com. And there you will have everything. Also, I want to give a plug. I'm wearing my Ankh earrings. I went to Egypt earlier this year and had an incredible time. And the Egyptologist on the third day, he said, Anne Marie, I would love you to lead a tour to Egypt. So we have been working on it. And I am going to lead a 2-week all-inclusive tour to the chakras of ancient Egypt. We're going all down the Nile for 2 weeks, all inclusive, January of 2027. And if you are called to do that, start from now. There's a payment process that's put in place. The price was reduced by over $1,000 just recently. So check that out at my website as well, ammhypnotherapy.com. So not only are you going to get this amazingly spiritual Egyptologist, but you're going to get me doing my energy work, chakra attunements to the chakras of the temples that we are going to, and past life regressions, group and individual. You'll get all of that on this tour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is awesome. Wow. I'd love to do that myself. That would be amazing. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a once in a lifetime thing. If you look at it like it's too expensive, don't even bother coming. If you look at it like, oh my God, I've got to go, the universe will make it happen. Don't deny the universe the opportunity to wow you. Okay. Don't do that. Let it come in.
I agree. Wow. Well, this was amazing. Thank you, ladies. You guys are awesome. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. And
thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And have a
I
good
hope
night,
we
everybody.
answered everybody's questions.
Yeah. And we'll see you all at the Full Disclosure Now conference. Get your tickets now. There's still tickets. And you'll be able to meet Anne Marie. You'll be able to meet Christy. And it's going to be an amazing time, guys. You guys should really come. And yeah. And thank you, everybody. And go to fulldisclosuremovement.org to get your tickets. And thank you, everybody. Have a good night.